Hi, I'm Kevin. This is my Module 5 AP 800. This is my barriers to the web presentation. In summary of all of the articles for this week and for this module, here are some things that I learned. Tech availability is unequal. Not everyone has the same amount of access to technology. Um, that kind of depends on your socioeconomic status because cost is a barrier. Also, geography. If you live in a rural place, you might not have the same kind of access to super high speed internet or um, the uh, super fast phone data plans or whatever they are. So, those things make tech um, unequal to all people. And I think another barrier um, to digital learning in the United States would be that nationally our schools lack a cohesive vision. Not all of our schools are on the same page. We are governed by the state to states. So there's not one governing body that can put us in lockstep in terms of our vision. Curriculum is also a barrier. There are a lot of teachers who do prefer to teach in what I call a more old fashioned way. A lot of sit and get, a lot of presentations, a lot of reading from textbooks. And there is also the developers that develop that curriculum are very invested in that continuing to be the main model of instruction. Schools also lack the infrastructure to be totally web and digitally integrated. Um, Technology takes up a lot of space, uses a lot of power, and it would be very costly for schools to put everything in place to be fully digital. There are also barriers in high school that don't exist in primary school, as pointed out in the video for the assignment. In high school, teachers simply don't see their students often enough to be fully invested in implementing policies, procedures for technology, teaching kids how to log in, log off, those kinds of things. In primary school, it is much easier because it's the same group of kids with the same teacher all day. But that is definitely a barrier in high school. I personally don't think that the digital divide can be resolved. In a perfect world, you could come up with a plan that may make sense on paper, um, but I don't think it's possible logistically. Um, Funding is just always going to be an issue for schools. Where we get our money from and how much funding we get, it's not unlimited, and technology does cost money. Also, like I said before, there is no shared vision that would be needed for every school nationally to cross this divide and to resolve this issue. And also the problem of infrastructure. There would either need to be new schools outfitted to be fully digital, or there would need to be every school building that is retrofitted to fit all this technology. And I just don't think it's possible, unfortunately. When students graduate high school, I think they need some skills, some which are um, last the or stand the test of time, and some that are more modern skills that they need to have. Um, I think all students going into the workforce need to have critical thinking and problem solving skills. They need to be able to persevere through issues and problems that arise that they didn't consider beforehand. That's super important. I think students need to have creativity and imagination when solving problems. Innovation is key, especially in the 21st century. Um, I also think that students need to be digital citizens. They need to be able to interact with and use technology um, in order to navigate through the workforce and in the world. Um, And lastly, this one does stand the test of time. I think everyone needs to have a certain amount of flexibility in order to collaborate with others, problem solve, things like that. Personally, I know that my internet usage has changed drastically due to our new global economy and the shrinking world, as they call it. Cheaper technology that is outsourced from other countries. There's cheaper labor. It's imported and exported in a much more cost efficient way, which makes technology super available to a lot of people, and to me especially. I know that I'm always connected. I have a smartphone, laptop, a smartwatch. I'm always within arm's length of an internet browser. So that certainly is very different. I feel like I'm free to do anything from anywhere because of how connected I am. It doesn't matter where I am. I don't have to stay at work late to get things done. Um, Also, daily tasks are more streamlined and more efficient. Things like taking attendance is super easy. Digitally, I don't have to, do it by hand, turn it into the office. It's just a few clicks and it's done. Also, I'm able to communicate with anyone at any time. I think personally, some growth areas in terms of technology. I do have a new class I'll be teaching next year, which is exploring computer science. So I feel like I could be stronger in coding and web design because that's the basis of the class. That's something I'm looking to work on. Also, I think I need to be more knowledgeable about social media. I don't personally use social media. Um, all the kids do, or most of the kids do, and it is the source of a lot of communication for our students. And so I think I need to grow in that area. Um, District wide and within our school, are we equipped with 21st century technology? Yes and no. Again, funding is a big part of this. We are fortunate enough to have laptop carts. We do share them. They're not at our immediate disposal. We do have school-wide Wi-Fi for both the students and the staff, which is super helpful. Kids do take a computer science class as mandated by the district, but in my opinion, that's not enough digitally focused instruction that the kids are getting. I wish there was more. Um, yeah. Some advantages of innovative practices in schools. I think it provides for more personalized learning. Students can use digital tools to learn in their own way. It can connect to a lot of different modalities, be more hands-on. I think it can connect to a lot more learning styles as opposed to traditional. I sit here, I get information as given to me orally by my teacher, which is only one method of delivering instruction. And I think there is room for higher achievement when you're using innovative practices. Disadvantages, everybody says it. Behaviorally, that's something that teachers need to take into account when technology is given to students. Are they using technology in the right way, in an appropriate way for school? Are they exhibiting any kind of off-task behaviors? Are they doing what they're supposed to be doing? Also, could be a disadvantage in terms of social skills and connecting with others and talking to others. Also, if we focus on digital learning heavily in schools, there could be a factor of cost for other programs. Also, kids need to have perseverance in their life, and having every answer available to them at all times may not be the way to do that. I have experienced cyberbullying and inappropriate internet usage, social media fights, students using inappropriate websites and things like that. So it has impacted me that way.